This is Nightline.
Tonight, death in apartment 603, the Nightline exclusive.
My fiance's on the floor with blood everywhere. Oh no! Oh no!
A 27-year-old teacher found dead on her kitchen floor with more than 20 stab wounds. Her death initially ruled a homicide, then switched to suicide.
I have investigated stabbing suicides in my career, but I've never seen anyone stab themselves in the back.
Her family speaking out exclusively to us after her mysterious death was once again ruled a suicide in a new review. What was your reaction to the 32-page report?
I was kicked in the stomach pretty much.
Plus, brave face, the courageous story of a firefighter who ran into a burning building, left with devastating facial injuries.
They bandaged me all up, so I was totally blind.
The groundbreaking procedure that gave him a second chance and a new face.
What made you so determined?
My kids, I couldn't give up on them.
Nightline following him through his harrowing journey. Now, 10 years later, how's he doing? And remembering D'Angelo, the multi-Grammy award-winning R&B star known for Untitled, How Does It Feel? And many other hits, dead at just 51 years old.
From ABC News headquarters in New York, this is Nightline.
Thanks for joining us. Tonight, a vibrant young teacher with everything to look forward to found dead with more than 20 unusual stab wounds in her own kitchen. Her death ruled a suicide, raising confounding questions for years. We're with her parents exclusively as they learn the results of a new report.
I'm surprised that I'm calm, and I am ready to face this head on.
14 years after Sandy Greenberg's daughter Ellen's mysterious stabbing death, she and her husband Josh still have more questions than answers. They're about to attend a remote court hearing, the culmination of a years-long battle to get an independent review of their daughter's case. 27-year-old Ellen was found dead by her fiancé in 2011 in the kitchen of the Philadelphia apartment they shared.
There's a knife sticking out of her heart.
Oh, she stabbed herself?
Her body had 20 knife wounds, according to the initial autopsy report, including some to the back of her neck. The medical examiner initially ruled her death a homicide before switching it to suicide. A controversial decision that prompted the Greenbergs to file 2 lawsuits against the city of Philadelphia. But just a few days ago, a devastating blow. Philadelphia's medical examiner's office once again ruling Ellen's death a suicide and concluding that while the distribution of injuries is admittedly unusual, the fact remains that Ellen would be capable of inflicting these injuries herself.
What was your reaction to the 32-page report?
I was kicked in the stomach pretty much and dumbfounded, and I couldn't talk for 2 days, and I couldn't read it.
It's safe to say you don't accept the ruling of suicide.
No. Just from a very clinical view, nothing leans towards suicide.
It's the latest twist in Ellen's case, recently chronicled in the Hulu docuseries Death in Apartment 603. What happened to Ellen Greenberg?
It is our responsibility to Ellen to find out the truth.
Piecing together what may have happened that fateful night.
This is an unusual case because there were mistakes from the very beginning. I have investigated stabbing suicides in my career, but I've never seen anyone stab themselves in the back.
The docuseries itself was part of the materials the current medical examiner said she reviewed for her new report. In her review, Dr. Linsey Simon writes that she discovered 3 additional stab wounds and 20 more bruises than originally recorded.
Well, if that doesn't demonstrate more in support of a homicide, I'm not quite sure what will be.
Dr. Simon also writing that her decision to keep Ellen's death classified as a suicide was based on several points, including that there were no signs of an intruder, no defensive wounds, but also in part due to Ellen's struggles with anxiety, stating Ellen had an increase in energy to act on her anxious thoughts due to a change in medication.
She is not a psychiatrist. Who is she to know what was going on in my daughter's brain at the time?
On January 26, 2011, the city of Philadelphia was hunkering down amidst a snowstorm. Ellen, a first-grade teacher, was working on her students' grades in the apartment she shared with her fiancé, Sam Goldberg.
What we know is Sam Goldberg left the apartment at approximately 4:50 p.m. Per him, Ellen is alive and well and inside of that apartment. He is gone for give or take 38 and a half to 40 minutes at the gym and the lobby area, which you can see on CCTV.
Sam says he goes back to their apartment to find it locked, latched from the inside. He texts Ellen multiple times to let him in, and after making trips to the front desk, he says he breaks down their front door, where he finds Ellen slouched over on their kitchen floor.
Oh my God, she stabbed herself.
Where?
She fell with a knife. Oh no, her knife's sticking out.
What?
There's a knife sticking out of her heart.
Oh, she stabbed herself?
I guess so. I don't know where she fell on it. I don't know.
Ellen had more than 20 knife wounds on her chest, torso, and the back of her neck. She was pronounced dead at the scene.
After Sam spoke with the detectives, they believed that Ellen was experiencing mental health issues. So instead of investigating this, they call it a suicide on scene.
When this horrific event took place, the whole world kind of went dark for Josh and I.
We don't believe this was a suicide.
Right.
This is the farthest thing from our mind.
The day after Ellen's death, with the green light from police, the apartment was deep cleaned by professional crime scene cleaners. But then, the day after that, the medical examiner ruled her death a homicide. He also noted bruising on her body in various stages of healing, raising even more questions.
What were your interactions with the police like?
The communication was very lacking.
I found out that they had changed, that it was what we called a homicide through word of mouth. I don't know who told me, but it was before I did the eulogy.
So there's an interesting period where the police and the medical examiner actually clash, and they don't agree, which is unusual, and they clash publicly.
Police told me the scene was carried as a suicide that night because Sam had stayed on the scene and was cooperative. There were no signs of an intruder in the apartment, and Ellen didn't have any defensive wounds on her body.
Once the medical examiners ruled this a homicide, it's like, whoa, go back and investigate. Too late. We allowed the crime scene to be cleared. I'm not talking residential cleaners. I'm talking crime scene cleaners.
Police never named any suspects, and Sam Goldberg was never accused of foul play. Weeks later, a shocking development. The medical examiner does a 180, publicly declaring Ellen's death a suicide. The decision came after a closed-door meeting with members of multiple agencies, including the police.
I was so devastated and so distraught.
Suicide is not a crime in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. In other words, there is no investigation. They're done. I think Ellen was murdered.
And so, in your scenario, somebody got away with murder.
That's what I believe.
Years go by and Ellen's story starts to fade from public view until the Greenbergs meet a veteran state trooper turned private investigator named Tom Brennan.
He started reviewing things, and he took papers home and things we gave him that we had, and he came back and said, something's wrong here. This is not right.
After years of investigation, Tom felt it was time to go to the media. That's where the reporting by Stephanie Farr comes in, an investigative journalist with the Philadelphia Inquirer.
It was extremely well read. It generated a ton of interest on social media, from reader emails, and also in the true crime community.
But what gets me is the physical evidence. She has stab wounds.
Her case has been plagued with investigative failures. If you're just beginning to play along,
the case took a very strange and unexpected turn.
That just do not seem to align with suicide.
And it really just sort of snowballs into eventually this lawsuit demanding that the city change their designation from suicide to either homicide or undetermined.
With Ellen's case gaining traction in the court of public opinion, the Greenbergs filed another lawsuit, alleging a conspiracy involving the medical examiner's office and the Philadelphia Police Department's deeply botched investigation.
Raise your right hand, please.
During the deposition, the original medical examiner on the case testified that the police gave him information that led him to believe Ellen died by suicide, including that the building security guard witnessed her fiancé, Sam Goldberg, breaking down the front door to find Ellen. But that claim later refuted by CCTV footage showing Sam going up to the apartment alone around that time.
There was a report that said I escorted Sam to the unit. When I learned that, I was really upset. I'm not allowed to leave the post other than for law enforcement. It's real simple.
In Sam's 2 interviews with investigators, he never expressly states that anyone was with him when he broke in. However, while the police report doesn't mention that anyone was with Sam, the medical examiner's report does. And that's the report that Dr. Osborne used to determine Ellen's manner of death.
Sam Goldberg did not respond to the producer's request for comment, but in a statement to CNN last December, he said in part, "When Ellen took her own life, it left me bewildered. Mental illness is very real and has many victims." And just this past February, another stunning development. Just as a judge cleared the way for the lawsuits to go to trial, the Greenberg's attorney says the medical examiner struck a deal. According to court documents, Dr. Marlon Osborne signed a statement saying, "I have become aware of additional information. It is my professional opinion Ellen's manner of death should be designated as something other than suicide." Just days later, yet another bombshell. The city settling both lawsuits.
The Greenberg settled with the city of Philadelphia, but part of that agreement was that the city would expeditiously reopen and re-examine the investigation.
But the Greenbergs and their team do not accept the results of that re-examination, even though in court today the attorneys for both parties agreed that this civil case is closed.
There are other options available that will be considered and will be pursued and have been pursued. It will not involve Philadelphia. So it's time to move on to other pastures.
The Philadelphia Police Department, the district attorney, and the attorney general's offices declined to be interviewed and declined to comment for the series. Dr. Marlon Osborne and Philadelphia's current medical examiner's office have declined to comment on the new report.
We're not going away and we're not giving up. So just because there was a period at the end of the sentence does not mean we forgot about our daughter and we want to know what happened.
We want to know the truth. We are going to be fighting as long as we can and as long as it's possible.
And for much more on this story, watch Death in Apartment 603, What Happened to Ellen Greenberg? It's now streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+. Up next, the firefighter we followed when he received a groundbreaking full-face transplant. Recently, I got a chance to catch up with him 10 years later. After the break, our conversation. And tonight, a story close to my heart. It's about medical miraculousness and incredible bravery. It's been 10 years since Pat Hardison, a former firefighter who suffered devastating burns in the line of duty, received a groundbreaking full-face transplant. Pat and I met in the weeks of post-surgical rehab, adjusting to his new life with a new face. And now, a decade later, he's sharing his unique experience and recovery from trauma in a stirring new memoir, Facing the Fire. Welcome, Pat.
Thank you for having me.
What made you want to share the story now?
I just wanted the world to see that always keep the hope, and no matter what, because over the years I struggled with so many different obstacles and just so many different things that I couldn't fix at that time, and I was putting myself through so much stuff trying to fix it, and I just couldn't.
Let's talk about the initial accident. Take us back to that horrible day in September of 2001 and the surgeries you had after that. What were some of those days like in the burn unit?
It was pretty tough. I mean, when I got there, I could see things for just a little while, and then they bandaged me all up, so I was totally blind.
You said that some of the hardest parts of the recovery was your children's reaction to your face. What was that like?
Well, it was so hard, especially on my oldest daughter, Allison. And Avery also, they literally screamed. My own kids couldn't stay in my house. They screamed and cried when they saw me that they were so scared to death.
Aww.
And Dalton, he never fazed him. He jumped up in my lap the first day and just kept telling them, this is just Dad. But I literally had to grab my daughters and pull them in and hold them and just tell them, hey, it's okay. And once I did that, they were fine.
They knew it was you. Let's play a clip from the interview, and then we can talk about it on the other side.
We were finally able to ask him directly why he was willing to risk everything.
I never thought about the risk of dying, because that never scared me, because there's things in life that are way worse than death.
There are things in life way worse than death?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I had lived like that for 14 years.
You were told there was a 50-50 chance that you would not survive. What made you think it's worth going for it?
I wanted a better life for my kids. I never had a fear of dying. I mean, I've never, I don't know, something in me that the good Lord telling me that you're going to be okay. I knew I was going to be okay. I never had a fear of dying.
What made you so determined?
I had to. My kids. I couldn't give up on them.
It's incredible.
I had to do that.
But I also feel like that's you, who you are. You have a brave inner spirit.
Thank you, thank you.
I can tell you're getting a little emotional about this, and I'm going to take you to
just thinking back over the years at everything that happened and there's a lot of good, but there's a lot of bad, a lot of hard times.
I was blown away, Pat. I had no idea that you went into detox in jail.
Yeah.
That you had gone through so much. Tell me what brought you to that low point when you were addicted to pain medication.
Well, I had lost everything but that. I mean, my wife had left, my kids were living in another home. I had lost my home, my business. I'd lost everything.
I know that since then you've suffered, you had told me this when I saw you last time about the rejection that you're suffering. Are you still struggling with that? Tell me about the big episode and then what's happening now.
Well, I had like 7 or 8 years of no flaws, nothing, and the doctors were amazed, no issues. And then in 2020, I started seeing some redness in my face. So I went to my regular doctor, and he told me something's not right. Your face, the color's wrong. My body started building antibodies fighting the transplant. And when it started doing that, I lost half my ear. My transplant was literally dying. And
one of the blood vessels burst.
Yeah, I had the seam where they sewed the transplant to my skin. It started coming apart, and that blood vessel burst. And luckily, they got me patched up again, like a patchwork quilt.
Yeah.
Fixing me up.
I remember the first time I met you, you were still doing swallowing exercises and talking exercises, and you've come so far, Pat. What would you say to the 27-year-old Pat Hardison looking forward into the future?
Oh, I couldn't imagine. I never saw this life. It's like a buddy of mine told me the other day. He said, Pat, you know, we're all just one accident or one bad decision away from a totally different life.
Wow.
And that's so true.
And you chronicle it so beautifully in your new memoir, Facing the Fire.
Thank you.
And when we come back, remembering R&B star D'Angelo, known for his breakout hit, Lady, and so much more. And finally tonight, R&B superstar D'Angelo has died after a battle with pancreatic cancer. He first got a taste for the stage as a teen at the Apollo's Amateur Nights. D'Angelo's first album dropped at 21, and with it, the first of a flood of accolades. He'd go on to win 4 Grammys, including for the racy Untitled, How Does It Feel? Rolling Stone ranking him number 75 in their list of the greatest all-time singers. Jamie Foxx today saying the singer's voice brought tears to his eyes. Beyoncé paying tribute by saying D'Angelo changed and transformed rhythm and blues forever. He leaves 3 children, including a son with then-partner singer Angie Stone, who died in March. D'Angelo was just 51 years old. We send our best to his family. That's Nightline. You can watch all of our full episodes on Disney Plus and Hulu. We'll see you right back here, same time tomorrow. Thanks for staying up with us. Good night, America.